And thank you for joining us on TVC News. We're staying with the ongoing internal wrangling within the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party. The Board of Trustees of the party is now calling on all sides to sheath their swords and de-escalate the tensions. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor Media Ikenna Onoha, the BOT asked warring persons to revert to the status quo to preserve the unity and stability of the party. The Board of Trustees says while disagreement may arise as a party with a long-standing tradition of internal democracy, members mustn't let these challenges derail the party's collective vision. The Board of Trustees is now set to meet with members of the National Working Committee to intervene and ensure normalcy is restored. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Abuja has restrained the National Executive Committee as well as the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party from removing Umar Damagum as the acting national chairman of the party. The court ordered that no other person must be recognized as PDP's national chairman other than Mr. Damagum until the national convention of the PDP scheduled for December of 2025. Justice Peter Lifu, while delivering judgment, virtually issued the restraining order against the PDP as well as INEC, the BOT of the PDP and others in a suit instituted against them by Senator Umar Mena. The judge held that in line with Articles 42, 47 and 67 of the PDP's constitution, it's only at the national convention of the party that national officers can be elected. And still talking about the internal crisis within the PDP, there were suspensions and counter-suspensions that have now stirred up controversies within Nigeria's biggest opposition political party. For now, it's unclear yet how the matter will be resolved, but Umar Damagum is still in charge as the acting national chairman of the party. TVC News senior correspondent Femi Akonde has more.
The court may have given a breather to Umar Damagum, acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, but the problems of the party still persist. The acting national chairman and national secretary survived an onslaught from inside the party, carried out by a section of the National Working Committee. But it seems the casualties are Debo Ologunagba and Kamaldeen Ajibade, National Publicity Secretary and National Legal Advisor, respectively.
The crisis we are experiencing are emanating as a result of trying to advance the interest in-house and is expected in the house. Even in family cycles, you have problems between spouses and the children, not to now talk of a larger house as big as the PDP. And with 13 governors, for crying out loud, and for ruling this country for 16 years, you know, the beautiful moment throughout Nigerian history. One will expect this kind of developments. But if you don't believe it, then I wonder what you will believe in this country.
But shortly after the purported announcement of Damagum's suspension, Yayari Ahmed Mohammed was announced as the interim acting national chairman of the party. Though he is yet to officially assume office in the capacity of chairman, his appointment was announced by the suspended National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba. Mr. Ologunagba's press statement accused the acting national chairman, Damagum, in the case involving the 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who vacated their seats upon decamping from the PDP to the All Progressives Congress.
As the highest ranking officer, in view of the suspension of Umar Damagum and other renegade national officers of the party who embarked on shameful anti-party activities because of selfish, greedy political and material interests, have paved the way for the highest officer from the northern part of the country, which is Yayari.
The coming days will be interesting as it will determine if the crisis will continue to escalate or if the appeal for calm by the Board of Trustees will prevail. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Away from politics, but still in the court, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court of Nigeria, Justice John Soho, has rejected the request made by the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, for Justice Binta Nyako to recuse herself from his trial. Justice Soho returned Nnamdi Kanu's case file to Justice Binta Nyako to handle, saying 2 other judges were previously recused from the case. The Chief Judge stated that Mr. Kanu's case was reassigned to Justice Nyako as far back as 2015. And since then, she had handled the case for the most part and was deemed the most suitable judge to see it through to its conclusion. But the Chief Judge directed that if at the next hearing of the case, Mr. Kanu still insists on Justice Nyako's recusal, he must first file a written motion on notice with an affidavit stating all the grounds for requesting her recusal. Mr. Kanu must also serve it on the prosecution and appear before Justice Nyako for her review and determination, and then she can make her decision. Ms. Kanu's counsel, Aloy Ejimako, confirmed this development to TVC News. In other reports now, the Commissioner of Police in the FCT Command has visited flashpoints in the Buhari Area Council. Olatunji Disu says he is developing a new policing strategy for the nation's capital. Sifon Essien reports.
The Commissioner of Police in the FCT hits the ground running with a visit to flashpoints in the Buhari Area Council. The Area Council is one of 6 local councils in the nation's capital that grapples with security challenges. Kidnapping for ransom assumed a worrisome dimension at the beginning of the year, forcing residents of affected neighborhoods to relocate from their homes.
Meeting with my tactical commanders, my operations officers, and some areas kept on coming up again and again. And I felt it would be good to go there physically and see it. You see, everywhere we have visited are of very importance to the state, to the nation in general. I've gone around, I've seen deployment. I've seen deployment of even our sister agencies as well. And it's of importance to know that presently I can say I'm at the border of Abuja and Kaduna State.
The mountainous terrain presents a challenge to security agents.
This is a very big area, vast landmarks, and you can see the hills everywhere. So these are typical areas for this kind of crimes we are talking about, kidnapping, robberies, and especially for these bandits that come around. I've seen the deployment, I've spoken with the DPO. Just like I mentioned to him some few minutes ago, we'll be deploying technology to assist us. We'll be flying drones, the drone team will be coming around to see it. We'll be taking coordinates of important areas so that officers who have not been here before can get instruction from us and move to areas quickly. We are going to deploy some other strategies, 1 or 2 of them I may not want to say publicly.
Buhari Area Council hosts strategic educational institutions, placing enormous responsibility on security agencies.
Build that police post in front of the university because we really need the police to be close to ensure security in the place.
While the Commissioner of Police and his team prepare to implement a new strategy, residents are eager for improved security. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.